9, a quarter to 9. Can you believe how the time goes by? Wow. Well, you and I had a very informative chat outside with Yusuf there. Thanks to Zakir Town holding it down with the sports segment. Continuing with the spirit of sports and Friday night. I've got a champion in the building, man. Riaasat Ebrahim here. Young lad hailing from around the corner from our studios. Homeboy, as I'd like to say. Assalamu alaikum to you. Good evening and
Alaikum
welcome.
salam. Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure.
No, it's
Yeah.
great to have you here, man. So, before we get into your title of obviously the VS Gaming Champ representing Orlando Pirates, who is Riaasat Ebrahim? For those who don't know yet.
So Riaasat Ebrahim is a esports athlete for Orlando Pirates.
Okay.
I have
Oh, and
my
you actually get paid for this esports
yes,
thing, and we're
correct.
gonna talk about how.
100%.
Right.
So basically, I started around 10 years ago.
Okay.
As like a young kid in the scene, and I was a gaming enthusiast, and it
What
just
were
so
some of
be
your favorite games when you were?
favorite games. I started off with like Pro Evolution.
Yeah,
That I think so paved
the way
my
forward.
way forward for like FIFA as well.
Yeah,
I played also like your famous games like Metal Slug
yeah,
and
Metal Gear
all
Solid,
of
all
those
of
games.
those. Yeah,
So
yeah.
for us, like it's just been in our generation, and it's like fun. Like it used to be a hobby,
Mm-hmm.
now it's actually a career.
Right.
So I'm excited for it.
Now, you obviously graduated in finance and you found yourself as a e-gaming athlete. Talk to me, how did this happen? I mean, 1 minute you're studying finance, and then the next thing now you are e-gaming athlete and a champion. So, okay, I believe in Tabdir, but
Definitely.
faith and your destiny. And but how did this all happen?
So basically, like through like the lockdown, I realized that there's so much opportunity in gaming,
Right.
and at the same time, I was completing my studies, and I was basically like writing throughout the year. So trying to balance between your like what you love and obviously your career is challenging, but
I'm sure.
like shukr or praise to Allah that I managed to further my career in esports as well as completed my degree in the year of
Now,
2020.
since we're talking about gaming and playing, many people will sit and say, okay, but like couple years back when my parents or grandparents, in my instance, late parents, but anyway, would say, stop playing around. You're faffing around here. You can't play games your whole life. And today you can be like, but mom, I'm actually getting paid for this. Like I get paid to play games, kind of thing. So how does this work now? E-gaming, where do you see it yourself, and how did you get involved into your current position with
So
Orlando Pirates,
basically,
etc.?
my like how I got involved into the whole esports scene
Yeah,
was through man by the name of Abu Akawaya,
right.
which for me like he really like opened a lot of opportunities and showed me like in terms of achieving that you can achieve so much if you have that support around you.
Yeah,
And he really had like he basically like
kind of like a mentor to you.
yeah, a mentor because he was already in the scene,
Okay.
and through his tournaments in brand called Main Gaming, that's how I got involved in esports. So it was at the age of 13 where I played my
Look
first
at you
tournament.
now. Hey, hey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so much years has gone by,
yeah.
and now like I'm basically like a veteran in the scene.
Wow,
Um,
sorry. Look at legendary. We still a world class here on FIFA.
Definitely,
Nice.
but
Yeah,
like you see, there's a lot of people that look up to you in the scene.
yeah.
So in that way, you have to, you have to. There's a big
What are some of the
responsibility.
challenges within this industry? Because look, we've done broadcasts with Rage and the Rage Expo and the lab there that they have, the LAN, etc. We've seen e-gaming. I've spoken to a number of people in this regard. But coming from an e-gaming background yourself, I mean, you're coming with a wealth of experience here. What are some of the challenges you've encountered in your field, and where do you see that some of the people feel despondent,
Mm.
where they tap off and say, you know what, I can't pursue it. Like you might, pursue and carry on, but then
So
what's driving you?
for me, like always, you have to have faith in Allah,
Yeah.
and through that, it gives you that motivation to know that the sky's the limit. Don't ever give up on yourself, because having self-belief, that's when you achieve greatness. Being despondent, you definitely putting yourself at a disadvantage. And with me, I just always had confidence in myself to perform at the highest level. And like throughout the years, I have been getting all like the titles from a young age. And with CS Gaming, it all like summed it up throughout the years.
Now there was a lot for that was up for grabs. I mean, collecting 100K, 100,000 rand as a prize money
Mm.
for your effort. Um, you beat your opponent 4-3 on aggregate, and that's was your biggest title, in your FIFA career.
Yeah,
Talk to us about this achievement, what it meant for you. Your hands must have been relaxed, I'm sure, the next day. But
definitely.
like, let's say a day before, and in terms of
Mm.
prepping and in terms of your experience of
Mm.
this tournament, what does this mean? What's it meant for you?
For me, like winning a CS Gaming tournament and like the biggest of them, it means so much because throughout the years you competing, and you're just looking for that big break. And with this year, like I've been competing, but with esports, it's been growing so much. Like I have won this tournament before, but previously it was at the price of around 12,000. So from 12,000, if you look at 7 years later, that is now at 100,000, and they have raised other prizes of like 500,000, etc. So a really big achievement for me. It's like so I'm so proud of it. I have to give it all to like the people that supported me,
Yeah.
my family, my friends, and all those around me. Definitely, like without them, I don't think so. I'll be able to push myself to limits.
I
Just
understand it's also a
limits.
team effort, right?
Definitely.
Being a motivation to your team, I'm
Mm.
sure. Where do you find your motivation to motivate your team and to maintain that level of energy?
Hundreds. Like in any industry, you have to have a group of people that support your goals and
Yeah.
objectives, and in that way, they support you to reaching your final goal. So at Orlando Pirates, I have a really good team of players who support me and push me in order to be my best, as well as myself pushing them and motivating them to push
You
into their
mentioned
best.
Orlando Pirates, and maybe there are other fans of other teams here, but or that are watching right now. But you think of the likes of like Lucky Lehwati
Mm.
and other legendary players. You might be bumping into them at the Orlando Pirates camp. This experience now for you,
Mm.
rubbing shoulders with these, names, these high-profile players, and you're in the atmosphere of this team in the squad. What's it mean for you?
It means everything. Like I feel that a good work environment,
Yeah.
it produces really good
Once a
results.
park, always a
Also,
park.
always, always.
Up the
So
parks.
you
All
have to
right.
love by the motto once always. That means basically playing for the badge, and they'll remember the name on the back. So with me, I'm just grateful for this opportunity that Orlando Pirates presented, and we look to only grow from here.
Now, obviously, you're carrying the name of a brand. Orlando Pirates, obviously, well established, throughout the world, throughout the country, the continent itself. Um, in terms of, you and your team now, where you see yourself, I mean, you've qualified in finance,
Mm.
graduated, and you found yourself in the e-gaming
Mm.
space now. In terms of the e-gaming space in South Africa, where do you see it currently, and what more you think can be done in terms of like endorsements,
Mm.
sponsorships to grow the sport?
100%. Like I feel that with esports, it's continuously growing.
Mhm.
So we're growing at a fast rate.
Right.
Like with COVID, we see what esports just growing
There's an uptake in
tremendously,
numbers there.
definitely.
Okay.
So with us, we just seen that growth, and it's important for like people in the country or in the esports industry to get involved and basically push for limits that you never thought possible. And with that way, you can grow your brand and grow your, your following, definitely. So I'd advise like hopefully we see a lot more involvement from other companies in
Yeah.
esports and okay.
Now, some of your most memorable moments throughout your e-gaming career. I mean, you obviously started off about 10 years back.
Mm.
In the last 10 years, what are some of your most memorable moments that you recall?
For me, like starting it off at Clearwater Mall.
Yeah.
That was at the age of 13 to 14.
Wow.
I first guy by the name of Mohamed Said Patel. He's a professional footballer for Malaga City FC now in Spain.
Mhm.
So we versed each other. He came out victorious, but that gave me inspiration. And also, my parents were there to watch me. So it just gave me more motivation to go on to the next tournament. And when I went on to the next tournament, I ended up winning. So like that, like alhamdulillah for that. But that was a nice moment, and as well as winning the 2012 PS Gaming title, and definitely that's it in history.
That's obviously the cherry on top, as they say. Well, the champ in the building, Riaasat Ebrahim, thanks so much for your time, boss.
Thank you,
Been
thank
lovely
you.
having you here, man.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. And so, yeah, there you guys go, man. What a humble character this is, but awesome dude, in fact. But anyway, time now for our last segment coming up. We'll be back after this. Keep it locked. This is our media.